Welcome back to The Explainer. We're heading episode 299 of our weekly AI, privacy, and security update. We have a massive 16-story briefing to get through today. We're talking digital threats, evolving laws, and the often messy reality of implementing AI in the real world. Okay, let's dive into this.
To help synthesize a seriously chaotic news week, we've broken everything down into 4 chapters. First up, AI policy and regulation. Second, the evolving threat matrix. Third, privacy and surveillance battles. And finally, AI realities and applications. Let's get right to it.
Chapter 1. AI policy and regulation, from export bans to state laws. So, the Trump administration just reversed course and lifted export restrictions on Anthropic's Mythos and Fable models. The tactics used here are honestly fascinating. The ban was essentially used as a massive lever. By restricting Anthropic's global customer base, citing national security, the administration managed to extract proactive security and reporting protocols without ever having to step foot inside a courtroom. Now, Anthropic had actually pledged to do most of this voluntarily months ago. So why the sudden reversal? Well, geopolitical pressure. Asian models, specifically Fugu and Tulanfang, were rapidly approaching frontier capabilities. The US government had to release Anthropic before American AI was just bypassed entirely by global competitors. The big takeaway here, the template is officially set. Every frontier AI company now knows exactly what kind of distribution leverage the government holds over them.
We've got 2 massive, urgent regulatory deadlines hitting from different sides of the tech spectrum. Over in Europe, the EU AI Act enters full enforcement for high-risk AI on August 2nd. The penalties? Absolutely massive. We're talking up to 35 million euros. This directly impacts organizations deploying AI in high-risk areas. Think HR, medical devices, critical infrastructure. If you're in scope and not ready, your compliance clock has officially run out. Meanwhile, here in the US, the White House just dropped Executive Order 14442 regarding quantum computing. This mandates an immediate migration to post-quantum cryptography. Why the sudden rush? It's all about thwarting those harvest now, decrypt later threats, where state actors just scoop up encrypted data today and patiently wait for quantum computers to crack RSA and ECC cryptography tomorrow. Shifting from the federal level down to the state level, New York is poised to pass a first-of-its-kind bill. It's called SB S9051B, and it outlaws unsafe AI companion features specifically for minors. This targets AI designed to create parasocial dependency, basically bots that simulate sentience or use emotional manipulation tactics on anyone under 18. We've seen some tragic cases recently of teenagers developing dangerous emotional dependencies on AI personas, and this legislation proves that the legal landscape around the emotional design of AI is shifting incredibly fast.
Chapter 2. The evolving threat matrix, humans versus machines. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how the sheer scale of digital threats just hit a terrifying new baseline. That is 24 billion with a B. Researchers just stumbled upon an open, completely unauthenticated Elasticsearch database exposing 24 billion credential records. And here is the kicker. These are all plain text passwords. No hashing, no encryption. That means absolutely zero cracking time is required for attackers. They don't need expensive GPU farms to run word lists anymore. These credentials are ready to use the literal second they are downloaded. It compresses the entire attack cycle for credential stuffing campaigns into mere hours. Seriously, if you reuse passwords anywhere, go change them today. For the defenders out there, we have 2 immediate action red flags this week. First up, an Oracle PeopleSoft zero-day is being actively exploited right now by prolific extortion groups like CLOP and Shiny Hunters. PeopleSoft runs core HR and finance for universities and hospitals globally. If your org runs it, treat this like a literal fire drill and apply that emergency out-of-band patch immediately. Second, we've got Pollen Rider. This is a highly resourced North Korean supply chain attack that compromised over 100 legitimate open-source developer packages with backdoors. Instead of attacking hardened perimeters, these incredibly patient attackers are going straight for the developers because their workstations hold the keys to the kingdom. You absolutely need to audit your pipelines.
The fundamental assumptions of cybersecurity are basically crumbling beneath our feet. Think about it. Traditional human threat actors need sleep. They need time to navigate laterally through a system. Defenders rely on that time gap to catch them. Well, enter Jade Puffer. Researchers have documented this as the very first fully autonomous AI ransomware agent. It found a flaw in the Langflow platform, gained access, navigated the environment, stole data, and issued a ransom demand, all without a single human intervention at any stage. Autonomous AI threats, they aren't some sci-fi future anymore. They're a present-day reality, and they operate faster than humanly possible.
Speaking of vulnerabilities, Zscaler Threat Labs just exposed a wild new active campaign using indirect prompt injections hidden directly in website code. What's crazy here is that it targets AI agents, not humans. The malicious text is hidden where a human browsing the web would never see it. But an AI web scraper reads it as a literal instruction. These hidden prompts trick the agents into making unauthorized crypto payments and actually trusting spoofed sites. So if you're a developer, listen up. Prompt injection exploits machine literalism. If you integrate an AI agent with a payment system, you have to treat all external websites as totally hostile terrain.
Section 3. Privacy and Surveillance Battles, Rulings and Ironies. Here, we're shifting our focus from enterprise threats to your digital privacy. This is undoubtedly one of the most significant digital privacy rulings we've seen in years. In Chattree v. United States, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that geofence warrants, which basically let police sweep up location data for everyone in a specific area, constitute searches under the Fourth Amendment. The court definitively established that you have a reasonable expectation of privacy in your location data, even if you voluntarily share it with apps like Google Maps just to make them work. This fundamentally alters the legal landscape. The government now faces a much higher constitutional hurdle to access your location history, which changes the game for ad networks, app developers, and honestly, anyone carrying a smartphone.
You really can't make this stuff up. In a stark, alarming irony discovered by Citizen Lab, Greek MEP Stelios Kouloglou was serving on the EU's PEGA committee, which is the very committee formally investigating the abuse of Pegasus commercial spyware. And what happened? While in office, his own phone got infected with Pegasus. It's a brilliant, if terrifying, illustration that commercial spyware isn't just a threat to distant political dissidents. It's an active, ongoing threat to the highest levels of democratic governance. It proves exactly why that committee's work was so vital in the first place.
Our last privacy item revolves around a critical question. Who really benefits when a restricted behavior goes away? Amazon just killed sideloading on its new Vega OS Fire Sticks, heavily citing malware risks as the reason. But actually, this move conveniently blocks custom launchers, and those launchers were the primary tools users relied on to replace Amazon's incredibly ad-heavy interface and block Amazon's own device tracking. Sure, malware is a very real risk, but closing that specific vector also conveniently kills your ability to protect your privacy from the platform owner itself.
Let's move to Chapter 4 and see how this all builds into AI reality's failures and breakthroughs. Let's look at the messy, physical reality of actually implementing this tech. This quote from Ford VP Charles Poon is super striking. He admitted, "Mistakenly, we thought that by just introducing artificial intelligence and ingesting the design requirements, that would produce a high-quality product." Ford poured money into AI automated quality systems, only to find they fell remarkably short of expectations. In fact, they've now had to rehire 350 veteran, quote-unquote, graybeard engineers to actually understand the physical failure modes that the AI just couldn't grasp from data alone. It's an incredibly expensive lesson. AI requires deep domain expertise because pattern recognition is simply not the same as true product understanding. We also have to weigh the heavy local costs of AI against its mind-blowing global potential. On one side, you have Henrico County, Virginia. They host 37 data centers, and they are literally asking local school teachers to unplug their space heaters because AI power demands are driving electricity rates up by 25%. We have school janitors in direct resource competition with global AI infrastructure. But on the exact same day, we see the launch of Claude Science and Basecamp Eden. This platform lets any clinician with a web browser design antibiotic peptides in minutes using simple text prompts. That's a task that used to require a computational science PhD. It's democratizing drug discovery to fight global antibiotic resistance. It's a stunning contrast, right? Severe local resource drains against genuinely world-changing breakthroughs. To put this into perspective, look at this number, 450,000. South Korea announced plans to train its entire active-duty military, all 450,000 of them, as drone warriors by 2029 using 100% domestically sourced components. They are looking closely at the lessons written in Ukrainian blood, realizing that future battlefield advantage requires intelligent autonomous systems at massive scale, not just a few expensive traditional platforms. This is an urgent, massive procurement signal for global tech supply chains. Drones are about to become as standard issue for a soldier as a rifle.
So what does this all mean? as we navigate autonomous threats like Jade Puffer, as we grapple with strained power grids in our local communities, and as we watch our foundational privacy laws shift beneath our feet, we have to ask ourselves, are we building tools that serve us, or are we building infrastructures that we must serve? It is absolutely the defining question of our current technological era. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope it helped you cut through the noise, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to map out this wild landscape.